just off to see a good friend, Dorothy, and then after that, I got a whole day of dance. Yes, I'm a big dance fan, but also as a point, I try to make sure I spend a whole day where I just don't work. Well, I did work this morning. One of the things I'm going to try and play around with is just a few video effects and transitions. So if you guys see me playing around and messing things up, you'll know why. So I'm just doing a 5 whys analysis, classic consulting tool for all my consultants out there. But yeah, just a classic thing to do to understand the problem statement that I'm trying to solve. So digging into that problem, going through the 5 whys. So, why is that a problem? Why is that why a thing, etc., etc., etc. Dig into the root cause. And then I'm mapping it to the different solution options that I'm offering. So around like, right, how am I solving this particular root cause? And then the different phases of the product that I'm putting together and how that maps across. So yeah, always a good exercise. And you can never think too deeply about this. I know Mark Andreessen from Andreessen Horowitz, that VC firm, and he's built amazing companies himself. He talks about the concept of the idea maze, and that the real solid founders are those who've been through the idea maze, which is essentially where you've basically thought through every nook and cranny of the problem and how you think your solution can solve that. And that's why, I agree with him, and I don't think there's ever such a thing as too much thought and depth that's gone into that analysis of a problem and the solution behind it. So yeah, the idea maze being they've basically spent years of their life where they've navigated this maze constantly to get to the real crux of the matter, and they've been through every single scenario and option, and what that means for their product and the customers they're targeting. So yeah, I guess I'm building out my idea maze in the process. Cool. Another example of overwhelm I've been feeling recently is I was just thinking oh man, is this product I'm building really going to solve the problem that I've set out to solve? Is it going to be good enough? What will investors think? Future investors? What will the world at large think? This won't really get picked up. All these different fears, and then I'm just when you're feeling overwhelmed by a problem, just narrow down the scale. So in this case, I've sized it down to just build something that I would be proud of myself, something that I believe solves a problem in a way that works for me, for example. So yeah, if I narrow it down to one person, it makes much more sense. Okay, I kid you not, I think Webpack has just deleted my original code. Freaking out is an understatement right now. Okay, so it turns out by running Webpack, I think I did something that completely wiped out the original HTML and CSS file, and it's just bundled everything up, and it's uglified the code, which is what bundling is meant to do. But because I haven't been syncing this to GitHub, i.e. keeping copies for myself, I'm going to have to redo the HTML and CSS, so that's going to be fun. On the bright side, at least I've still got my JavaScript file, which would have been the most painful thing. HTML, CSS, I can redo. It's fine. Sometimes you've got to learn things by making massive mistakes. Trial by fire. Oh, this sucks. Right, I need to get out of here. I'm going to a cafe to drown my sorrows in caffeine. So I've just about managed to rebuild my code in terms of HTML and CSS. Thankfully, I had some older versions lying around somewhere, so didn't have to do a full rebuild. But yeah, it's just highlighted the importance of important source control and pushing to GitHub regularly and all that good stuff. So this is how you learn lessons, right? You've got to feel the pain first. And that's how you truly learn that lesson, how it gets embedded in. So yeah.